time doing the storms, the guys go up there in between runs and try to get some rest. And these guys were sucking in diesel fumes up there. So I disconnected that because it was unsafe. But these are licensed, contractors, and they know what they're doing. All three are reliable.
So the central air wouldn't be in that little room upstairs in the...
It would be in the attic, right above the hallway. When you come in, there's like an attic door that you pull down. So there's an attic up there, and it's pretty central where we can go with the ductwork in every direction.
Right, but the memo says that you're going to have the central air conditioning installed in the superintendent's office, the front office, and the lunchroom. So that little extra room where there's like the cot up in the main garage with the rickety staircase.
I don't have to put it up there, but
Okay.
but if we're going to do the addition for Nick, we're going to have to run it through there.
So would it go through Nick's too? Because Nick's
Not all
office
the way
is
in the corner. We would plan for the new office. I wouldn't waste the money to put it back where Nick is now. That would just expand that into a bigger parts room.
Okay.
And I did get a letter from Bill Walters, because where Nick is working is illegal. It's just, there's no fire exit. He works in a concrete closet.
Now, would this unit be able to service Nick's new office as well?
That's what I'm planning on.
Okay, so it would accommodate his office.
We just have to extend the ductwork when that's done.
Okay.
For
But
the
it
main
would have the
unit.
capacity to cool that office, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
But was that anticipated? Because it doesn't indicate that in this letter.
What was the date of this? This is December 24th. I should have indicated it.
I mean, that's fine, it's just, I wouldn't want there to be another price for that.
No, but we have the $30,000 that you allotted for the construction of Nick's office. So let's say the additional ductwork, if there was something there, I'd try to absorb it with that $30,000. We're going to try to do most of the construction work. Bill Walters is going to be, monitoring everything, but we're going to try to do it. I'm going to do all the mason work myself, and we would just have to bring a carpenter in for a couple days here and there. But we have an electrician that works for the highway department. We have a carpenter that works for the highway department. We have a pretty good plumber that works for the highway department. So what we do a lot of our stuff, and then when I have to call on a licensed person, we bring him in to finish it up, and then Bill does inspect it.
I have a couple of questions. You said the word "if," as far as the heat versus air conditioning, and then switching it over to "can we?" And let's get rid of the word "if," because if you're working on something, I want to make sure we do it right. And on that note, just for the people watching on TV and in the audience, Mr. Othmer is attempting to renovate, repair the old highway department. And they've made a lot of improvements down there. Swing by there, see what they're doing. They're expanding with some of the land that we've had and got, working with the planning board and stuff. And for those that weren't, there was a plan for a brand new building that would have cost the town millions of dollars. And Superintendent Othmer felt that we should stay with the current facility. And we found some new lands that are ours and have been renovated and repaired. So these little things that are doing are within his budget, and I think in the long run, hopefully, we'll save a lot of money when you look at the big picture. So I just wanted to make sure that, because I can get the phone calls tonight. What's this? Othmer wants air conditioning. What's this going? But there's a reason, and if you have been there on those hot days, it's the office. And it's the lounge, when the guys are in between runs and stuff, and it's a small area, and the garage is covered. That was one of, I know Penny had a question, was the garage, and it's covered by other sources.
The garage, right? We do not need that in the garage. And just as I added up our electric bills from last year, our electric bills were just about $17,000 for that building down there.
Richard, just give me the figures of what the proposed new air conditioning unit, give me the figures compared to, I have what you had said, what it's costing us now.
The wattage?
What the projected figures, no, not the wattage, the cost per month.
Well, when I met with NYSEG, They have a formula. It's watts divided by 1,000 times a 24-hour day. And we're buying a watt hour at about anywhere from 10 cents to 12 cents an hour. So for instance, the way I work out the equation with the 6 window units we have right now, they use up 1,500 watts per hour. So 1,500 times 6 is 9,000 watts. So now I take the 9,000 watts. Well, what I did is I did it reverse. I took 1,500 watts divided by 1,000, 1.5. 1.5 times 24 hours equals 36, times 12 cents an hour equals, each unit is $4.32 per day. The 432 per day by the 6 units ends up to be 25.92 per day. And then 25.92 per day by a 30-day month. I mean, they're not on all the time. And, on Fridays, we click everything off. But I just did it as a ballpark. It comes out to $778 per month. Now, with the new central air unit, a 3-ton unit, it actually puts out the power of 10 window units. Right now, we have 6 window units. And it runs on only 3,500 watts versus the 9,000 watts of the six window units. So now if I do the equation again, I have 3,500 watts divided by 1,000 is 3.5 times 24 hours equals 84 times 12 cents an hour. It's $10.08 per day times 30 days in a month is $302 per month versus the $778 per month. It's a difference of $476, but I'm going to put an error factor in there too. I'm not going to bet on $476. I mean, I'd rather be conservative and say $300 less, because we don't have them on all the time. If you have a nice 75, 80 degree day in May or June, we're not going to put ACs on. We're going to have the windows open. So I just did it so we have a benchmark to work off of. But it's the heaters that are the biggies that I'm seeing here, and they're if the unit that I ballparked. Now I didn't get a price for this heater unit yet. It runs on 700 watts per hour, where right now we have the little ones you buy in Home Depot. The one in my office runs on 1,300 watts per hour. We have 8 of those units. So you're comparing 10,400 watts versus 700 watts, and that's just for the heat. And again, I'm not going to bet on this. I just took average days, saying 30 days, the power's on at all times. It's like a $230 day per difference. So I'm going to say, even if it's $100 per day difference, we're going to see this money back. And these window units, they burn out. I mean, everyone knows in their own house, they burn out. You're always replacing them. So
I don't have any air conditioning.
so to me, it just makes perfect financial sense. And so I'd love to ask your permission to be able, the next meeting, to be able to move ahead with this.
How about the salt shed?
What's that, Bill?
Salt shed, did you talk about the salt
Not
shed?
yet.
No, the salt shed.
Before the salt shed, I just have a couple concerns about the air conditioning units. My first concern is that, to me, it's more of a perk than a necessity. If you drive through Lake Carmel, everybody's got, wall air conditioning units, and it's something that's a fact of life. I would like a central air system, but I don't have one, and the highway garage, as opposed to a building like this, is probably not best suited for it. And the cost concerns is that if you were to replace your window units every other year, it would take you 30 years, I did the math, or 28 years or something, to get to the same cost. So the cost of the install of the window units, you won't recover any of that hard cost for 30 years, and by that time, this unit will be gone. You may recover something on the the electricity end. But my concern would be, is that if you're around this building when nobody's in it, the central air unit is always running, and it's always too warm in the winter and too cold in the summer, and it's very easy because what happens when you have a central air is windows never get open, and the air is regulated all the time, and you will be using that unit much more often than they're using the window units. The window units get turned off on Friday. They don't get turned off when it's on when it's super hot. Central air seems to forever run. So that's my cost concern. The other thing is that
You have a thermostat.
Yeah, I understand that, but what happens
It
with the
goes off
thermostat?
automatically.
Yeah, but what you'll find is that when you come into this building, it's cool or it's hot in the winter. I don't know that you're going to get the full extent of the savings that you're bargaining, and we're going to put the money up front. My second concern is that there were some issues about training funds in the budget for the highway department employees, and you brought that up in an email chain, and that we didn't have any money for training. But you're gonna be able to cobble the $12,000 together for air conditioning units, but you're not gonna cobble the $12,000 together for the extra training that you want. And so I think if there's a choice to be had, I would rather see the training be the option and not the air conditioning unit. So, I just don't
respond?
see it as a necessity
I think
at
you're
this point.
totally wrong with this. I think we're going to recoup the money on the cost of the electricity savings. The training, I'm going to do the best I can with the 5,000. The first time we have an accident with a piece of equipment that someone's not been trained on that they're using, then the town's going to be paying way more than that. So I'm trying to cover that. There's some programs I'm trying to take advantage of. It doesn't cost a lot. But this air conditioning unit, it's going to be used the same way. It's not going to be left on all weekends. We turn the window units off now, but the thermostat is going to keep it under much more control. And the same thing with the heating unit. The power, I mean, just going green. We want to go green. We want to do things, economically and environmentally better. So, but I disagree with you totally there.
Well, I just think that if there's an issue of, am I gonna scrape up money for training, and I'm already gonna spend $15,000 on air conditioning units, I think that you should make sure the money's there for training and then come back.
50,000?
15,000. Then come, 12.
12,500.
12, yes. And then come back to us in the fall. If training's all covered and we're all set, then we'll do the air conditioning units. And the idea that this is gonna save us some money and save the town money, every instance that the town highway department consolidates and saves some money, the town highway department then spends it on something else. So we budgeted you a certain amount of money to expand the municipal repairs. And we're already hearing that, I'm gonna come in under budget, I'm gonna use that for something else. So I don't ever think that the town is going to recoup this money because it's going to be, spent on something else. We're gonna save here and spend it on something else. I doubt that the budget next year that you present will show a decrease in your overall budget as a result of these costs. Instead, I think these costs will just go out to different things, and the budget will continue to increase, and the town and the taxpayers won't actually see a dollar savings. It'll just be spent on something else.
Paul, I have a duty to protect the property of the town to the taxpayers. That building is 60 years old. Nothing's been done there in years. The building is falling apart. We're doing a lot of the stuff in-house. The taxpayers deserve to have a good building. This complex is about, 10 years old? That's a 60-year-old complex. If we went out to contract on bid on all these improvements we're doing, it would cost 100 times more than what we're spending. I have a duty to protect the infrastructure of this town building, and training is one thing, infrastructure is another thing, your utilities are another thing. There's many facets of things I have to take care of, and I have to do.
I know, but I don't actually think that the infrastructure of the building is in danger because we're using an AC unit in a window as opposed to central air. I don't see that danger. My house, I don't believe, is in danger because I use an AC unit as opposed to a central air unit. And
I totally disagree with you. It's going to save us money just in the cost of electricity. Okay.
Would you be able to, I should have probably taken better notes, I took notes on the wattage and stuff, but would you be able to give us maybe a memo with the breakdown of the electricity costs now? for
Sure, I'll
the,
just type up what I wrote down here.
Great.
Yeah, we're close to $17,000. I'm not going to say we're going to say 50% in that, but I know just ballpark, I know we're going to say hopefully $5,000. If it costs us $12,500 to install this new unit, we have a 25-year lifespan. In 3 years, we got our money back. So, okay. Salt shed, okay. The specs are in. Nancy, I apologize, I didn't, because when we started working on this, we had another attorney working on it, so they finished it up, so I didn't mean to be impolite. But we have the specs. I had a presentation by a person that I met up in Cornell at the highway school back last summer, and I spoke to a lot of the different salesmen that sold different types of salt sheds. I talked to the state engineers, and New York State uses the type that I want to get. It's the rounded ones with the dome. They have 6 feet of poured concrete around instead of the wood. You'll see a lot of the ones like down at Carmel, they have the gambrel roofs with the sides coming down, and after a while, the salt just beats the hell out of the wood and causes a lot of rot. And these things have a 70, 75-year lifespan. They're all over New York State. I actually just drove across country and they're all over America, this type of salt shed. This one person was from Montreal and New Jersey, their company sells it. There are a few other companies that, but he was the only one that sold it that was at our school up there, so he was the one that he was the only one available for me to speak to, so, and this is the company that New York State uses, so I got the specs, they're typed up, I'd like to put these in for advertising. I know the only newspaper we use is the Putnam County Press, correct, for advertising?
Yes,
Just one paper, right?
I mean, we can use the Courier if need be for like usually date submissions for public hearings.
And the other thing, I didn't know if I'm allowed to do this, I was gonna call the New York State Highway Superintendents Association, and each region has, like, we have Putnam, Upper Westchester, then there's a Dutchess, and then so on and so forth. I wanted to maybe give them a blurb and say that we're gonna be putting this out for bid, so if there's any other companies, I want everyone to have an equal shot, so.
We submitted to Bid Ocean, which is,
You do what, Lonnie?
it's called Bid Ocean. It's another website that we just send it to them and they mail it out to other people.
And that will go like the Dodge reports?
Yes, that's how we get those.
All right, and that's fine, I'm happy, I didn't wanna just do the Putnam County Press.
Okay. We actually have a resolution in the meeting section to authorize the town clerk to advertise for
This is for the
bids.
301 garage?
The main garage.
Oh, the main one.
311.
Oh,
The
311.
301 garage, actually Maureen, I'll give her an A+ on this one, she negotiated. We had they didn't know, it was never taken into account, the salt shed over there with the tower going up. So Maureen and I met with the
This is not
cell tower people, and they actually did all the labor,
complete.
and they actually did it properly. They cut the block into the ground, so there's no seepage, the DEP's happy with it, because the way we had it before, I don't want to call them mafia blocks, the cement blocks were sitting on top of the blacktop, and you'd get leaching of the salt underneath to the reservoir. So we cut them in, they cut in, that's what I asked for, they cut in, we went a whole block on a nice bed of gravel, and it's all locked and topped in nice. We paid for the roof is up, and our salt is protected over there now, so it's good, so I'm happy with that, and
That's
this is our
complete?
main.
Complete?
We gotta put a little gutter in front of a drainage gutter, the winter came too fast, but we had to do that, they said they would do it, but the cell tower people, they did everything we asked. Everything that we asked, they complied, so I can't complain about